So early this year, I saw that Ultimate Ears released this new product called the UE Drops, and I was pretty intrigued by this because I know from experience owning a couple different pairs of earbuds from Ultimate Ears that they make a great product, and it's always been worth the price in my opinion. But when I saw the price of these, I was like, wow, that is really expensive. However, at the same time, I always kind of wanted to have this pair of fitted earbuds that was like made exactly for my ear. Just kind of seemed like a cool idea. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll just do it and I'll justify this by making a YouTube video review. And I knew that this was going to be a bit of a different experience just because I would have to get these things fitted to my ear and it was going to take time to do that. So I went in with that expectation that this was not going to be a quick process. I guess maybe I'll just start with this process of getting these things fitted. It was a little interesting because you get this box. You have to take these little earbud fitter things out of there and put them in your ears, and you have to connect them to this cord that plugs into the wall. Then you have to connect the app. And the app is a pretty cool experience just in how it takes you through the process of getting them fitted. It's about as good of an experience as you could expect without having an actual human there. It just tells you exactly what to do. And it actually comes with 4 of these rubber earbud fitter things, not 2. And I guess that was the first thing that I found a little confusing because they both felt very similar in size, but apparently one of them is bigger and one of them is smaller. So you have to kind of figure out, do I think I need bigger or smaller earbuds? And based on that, you just put them in your ears and you use those for the fitting process. I honestly couldn't tell a huge difference between the two. So maybe that was my first problem. But anyway, I just found that a little bit confusing. You pick out whichever earbuds, I guess, feel the most comfortable. And then you connect them to this cord that plugs into the wall. And then you connect your phone to that little cord mechanism through a Bluetooth connection. And then you go through this fitting process with the app where you have to take a picture of both ears, which is a little tricky to do because you can't really see it while you're taking a picture of your ear because your ear is on the side of your head. But the app kind of helps you through it and helps you get it right. And then you have to connect these rubber tips to the cord and go through this 60-second process where you put it in your ear and it plays music and then it heats up. So it actually gets like hot in your ear. And this was the second and I think most critical point of confusion that actually kind of messed up my whole experience is that when these things heat up, the app tells you to not apply pressure. But I think you actually do need to apply pressure or they're not going to mold through your ears. So my first time through it, I followed the directions and I did not apply pressure. And then when it was done and I took them out of my ears, they didn't really look any different than when I put them in. I was like, okay, it's weird, but okay. And then I put them back in the box and I sent them back. And then I got an email from Ultimate Ears saying that, it didn't work and we need to redo this. And I was like, okay, that's annoying. But to their credit, they were very accommodating and gave me a lot of different ways to work with them and make sure that I did it right the second time. They sent me a second fit kit and I went through all those same motions all over again, only this second time when it told me to not apply pressure, I deliberately disobeyed that and applied a lot of pressure to my ears to make sure that they would mold to the shape of my ear. I'm really kind of baffled as to why they say that. Although, to be fair, I have seen another review on YouTube from somebody who went through this same process and it worked for them. So maybe there's something I did wrong. Maybe there's something weird about my ears. For whatever reason, I had a hard time with this, and as a result it took like an extra month to get the final product. And when I finally did get the final product, I opened it up and my first thought was that the case that the earbuds charge in, it felt kind of like big and bulky, which isn't necessarily a problem. I was just kind of taken aback, like, wow, that's huge. And when I opened up the case, I guess it started to make sense because the actual earbuds themselves are fairly big and bulky because that molded tip has to be big enough to like shape to your ear. The second thing that kind of surprised me was that molded tip is not like a squishy, rubbery, soft substance. It's hard. I don't know if it's like glass or acrylic or what that material is, but it has zero give to it, which I found to be actually a little uncomfortable. Not because they weren't the right shape, but like when I would put them in my ears, as long as my ears didn't move at all, they felt perfect. But as soon as I would like smile or like open my jaw or move my forehead around, that made my ears move in any way, shape, or form, like even a millimeter. It wouldn't be such a big deal after a few minutes of doing that, but after wearing these things for like an hour or 2 hours at a time, I started to feel like this ear fatigue, because as I would move my face, which would make my ears move just a tiny little bit, it was just enough to like feel a bit of discomfort. Whereas if I was just using like cheaper earbuds with like a rubber tip that wouldn't even be touching my ear in as many places as these ones would be, those kinds of earbuds can definitely cause ear fatigue after a while too. But I felt like it happened a lot faster and a lot worse with these, which is honestly kind of a shame because I feel like they executed everything really well with this product, but it's just a fundamental design flaw. Something that might fix this was if these molded tips weren't rock hard. Say if they were rubbery, kind of like the original fitting tips that I used to mold it to my ear, that would probably be way better just in terms of comfort, because at least those have some give to it. But the ones that came with this final product, I just didn't find them that comfortable. And like the sound quality is great. Like it's honestly amazing. It doesn't get particularly loud, but it gets loud enough. But just like the clarity and the bass, I mean, it's like right on the money. Exactly what I would expect from Ultimate Ears. So they definitely sound awesome and they stay in place when you're running or moving around, so they're not going to fall out of your ear. And the battery life lasts pretty darn long as well. So like everything else about it is like really solid, but just that discomfort issue was kind of a deal breaker for me. And I ended up returning these things. And like, even as I sit here and tell you this, I kind of can't believe it because it feels wrong that I had to do that. And honestly, like I'm still kind of wondering if I just did something wrong. And just knowing that they're probably going to be selling thousands of these units, like I'm sure they've done some kind of testing on other people to ensure that that's not an issue for everyone. Maybe it's just me, but I did want to share my honest experience with you. One other thing I can confidently say is that if you're the kind of person who wants to wear these earbuds at night while you sleep, this is not the kind of earbud where you can put it in your ear and then lay your head on a pillow. It is going to cause a lot of pain in your ear if you do that. So don't plan on using it for that. But assuming I'm just one oddball case and nobody else has this issue with discomfort in their ears, if it weren't for that one thing, I would say this is an amazing product and they nailed everything except for that one issue. So hopefully that's helpful if you're deciding whether or not to get these. And if you do decide to get them, I hope you have a better experience than me in terms of the whole comfort of the fit. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again next time.